In Australia, where the land teems up with life, every leaf, stem, and or grain holds the potential for bounty as well as ruin due to the lurking threats of biosecurity. To deter them, come join us and start your journey with us, QUT Cab Nudgers. QUT, a group of young scientists from QUT Center for Agriculture and Bioeconomy. 20 to 40% of potential food production is lost annually with added costs due to various plant pests. Therefore, early detection and reporting is crucial. And the Australian government has already partnered with almost all the parties in the mitigation chain for this mission. However, there is evidence-based lack of engagement of citizens towards plant surveillance. So, being Department of Agriculture, Plant Health Australia, and Interstate Quarantine being the main authorities, they have launched a number of platforms and tools for reporting and monitoring. However, there is no centralized platform. We couldn't find such one because we want to engage more citizens effectively towards plant surveillance. We want to seek one, and this is how we do it.
Our solution to address the challenge of low biosecurity reports by the general public will target a wide range of citizens with the following personas. The first is the superhero. These are the members of the public who are very well informed about the importance of biosecurity reporting, and they are willing to provide a report. Their barrier to reporting is generally the unavailability of an easy-to-use platform. Our second persona is the happy novice, someone who is willing to report but are not yet informed. So for them, a better understanding of the impact and importance of reporting would be needed, which when addressed would place them in the superhero category. The third persona are the bystanders, who are informed but are not willing to report because of fundamental attribution error. They can be targeted using loss aversion and salience strategies. Our fourth and final persona is the couch potato, someone who is not willing to learn or report on biosecurity. For these members of the general public, over time, as more other members of the public take part in reporting, they could be tempted to do so as well in order to follow social norms.
So, as we saw before, there are some existing solutions, such as government programs, but there are certain disadvantages associated with these. For example, these programs are only targeted mainly towards growers and farmers, not so much towards citizens. And the digital platforms that exist, they have certain limitations, such as they're not pest specific, or they do not include incentivization schemes in the applications, and they are not inaccurate. They are not accurately advertised. Like they're not based on behavioral aspects such as proper framing or loss aversion or certain social norms. So we come with a solution called Restore, which is a nationwide citizen science-based pest-specific campaign, which is based on certain behavioral aspects and has the following deliverables. That is, first, to manage the negative effects of current pest populations in the Australian ecosystem. Second, to undertake certain measures to prevent future alien pest invasions. And thirdly, to create an actual behavioral shift and an ethos in the public with regards to reporting. So how will Restore actually lead to restoration? There is a 5-point action plan that we propose, starting with advertising, which is certain effective strategies based on social behavioral aspects such as loss aversion and anchoring biases to actually grab the attention of the public and get on board. Secondly, we want to propose certain education and training platforms and strategies to increase the reach of the program. Thirdly, then there will be implementation components of the campaign, which will be certain apps and certain incentivization strategies and also offline reporting to cover all classes of the public. And finally, there will be monitoring and evaluation to assess the performance of the app using certain metrics such as the data quality or spatial coverage and so on. So with regards to the feature of Restore, how can an ordinary citizen actually report something unusual or interesting? Let's have a look. So as you saw, the user clicked a picture and then the app provides an opportunity to actually upload the picture for reporting. after which the user has the option to search the image against a database, followed by which the user is directed to an AI tool or an algorithm which scans the biological entity in the image and searches across a list of deposited species in the database or the library to give a final result, which can also be assisted by putting some keywords which can help in the search process. In addition to this, we also propose certain aspects based on behavioral science, such as salience and discounting, where we propose certain incentivization schemes, which are basically personalized rewards to the user based upon the user's specific interests, which the user will provide once the user installs the app. So in this way, we can trigger the bystanders, as we saw in the personas in the previous slide. And then next, to prevent information overload to the user, we just propose a definite set of missions to the user based upon his or her geographical location and a particular pest of importance in that region at that point of time. And then, considering the other personas such as the superheroes or the happy novices who are actually willing to put an effort but don't know how to do it, we don't want the extrinsic factors to crowd out their intrinsic motivations or be counterproductive. So we have another set of missions called the structured voluntary missions, which are a bit more complicated, more systematic and sophisticated methodologies to gain a better picture. For example, sampling strategies, which will be done in a particular location for a extended period of time using a set methodology. And finally, once we have these actions in the belief system and the attitude of the users, we can further build upon it by expecting a higher level of commitment from them, where we take them to the next level and they are involved in certain sampling strategies, which are then used for advanced diagnostic interventions, and the data is then further used for predictive algorithms and modeling tools, which will be used for predicting, for example, the occurrence time of a particular pest which is of global concern but has to be prevented from entering Australia.
So this is all well and good, but how can we actually measure success? This is a really important thing. So there are a few ways, namely, there are analytics of the app. We can get data from the app itself to measure if we are getting engagement or not. But furthermore, we can use existing strategies such as ecological and social surveys to also figure it out. So with analytics, we can actually look to literature and see papers written about successful apps, and we can infer some numbers that would be good. So for example, we suggest that if we get 50,000 downloads in the first month, as well as 200,000 photos being uploaded with 15,000 returning users, and then also a 25% of user daily rate, then this would be a successful first month. And then in the first year, once we get people starting to submit some samples, if we get 2,000, then that would also be a success. Furthermore, the app would actually be useless if we don't actually get any detection or eradication of these pests. So importantly, we can use ecological data and surveys to figure that out. And lastly, if we can test some citizen knowledge in the youth and also in certain groups to figure out whether people are actually retaining this knowledge about biosecurity, that's also really important. So say our app is successful, where can we go from here? Well, if this app is successful, we can use the similar framework, the EAST framework that we use to design this app, to also design an app to target farmers and growers. They are the other half of this industry, of course, and we suggest that perhaps we can make it a way the farmers can connect with the value-add markets, so they're already on the app, so then therefore they would be more likely to use an app like this to understand biosecurity and actually use it. Furthermore, education is very important, and we should be trying to target some groups that are less educated, such as migrant communities, while also including including Indigenous voices. So overall, thank you for listening. We believe that Australian citizens really do care about biosecurity, whether they realize it or not, so we just need to give them the means to actually make a difference. Thank you.